Japan Entry Guide 2026 Critical Rules that could affect your entry.
Samurai Junjiro Channel.
Hi, I'm Akanemaru, born and raised in Japan. In 2026, entry procedures to Japan are evolving significantly. If you rely on outdated information, you could face unexpected issues at the airport. In some cases, travelers are stopped at immigration or even denied entry. But don't worry, most of these problems can be easily avoided with the right preparation. In this video, we'll walk you through the latest Japan entry guide for 2026, step by step from arrival. You'll learn what actually happens at immigration, what to prepare, and what to watch out for. Whether it's your first visit or your first time in years, this guide will help you enter Japan smoothly. Let's start with something critical. What could actually get you denied entry? 1. Reasons you could be denied entry. First, you need to understand the situations that could lead to being denied entry. Japan is generally welcoming, but there are strict rules you must follow. One of the most common reasons is having an unclear purpose of visit. For example, saying tourism but failing to explain your plans or itinerary. Immigration officers carefully assess whether your visit fits short-term stay conditions. Not being able to show your accommodation details can also raise concerns. Always be ready to present your hotel reservations or address. Another important factor is your return or onward ticket. If you cannot prove your departure plan, it may be seen as a risk of overstaying. Your past immigration history also matters. If you have overstayed before or violated rules, your inspection may be stricter. A key issue gaining attention toward 2026 is unpaid medical expenses. Unpaid medical bills from a previous visit may affect your ability to enter Japan. This doesn't automatically lead to denial, but it is considered a potential risk factor. Your answers during the interview are also very important. Vague answers or unusual behavior may raise suspicion. Even if your English isn't perfect, clear and simple answers are key. And most importantly, never provide false information. Even a small lie can result in immediate denial of entry. While strict, Japan's immigration process is fair and logical. If you prepare properly and stay calm, most travelers have no issues entering Japan. 2. What happens at immigration? After you get off the plane, the first process in Japan is immigration. Follow the signs inside the airport that say immigration or arrival. It's usually easy to follow the crowd, so you won't get lost. When you reach the immigration area, you will see multiple lanes. Foreign visitors should line up in the foreign passports or visitors lane. If it's busy, you may need to wait here for a while. When it's your turn, you proceed to the immigration officer's booth. You will first present your passport and show your QR code if required. Then your fingerprints will be taken. You simply place your fingers on the scanner following the instructions. Next, a facial photo will be taken. You just look at the camera and it will capture your image automatically. These procedures usually take only a few minutes. After a brief check, the process is completed. If everything is fine, you will be granted entry. Your passport will be stamped. This stamp indicates your permitted stay, so it's good to check it. Depending on the airport or situation, you may be directed to another lane. Just follow the staff instructions in that case. 3. Questions you will be asked. At immigration, you will be asked a few basic questions. The questions are simple, but it's important to answer them clearly. The most common question is the purpose of your visit. If you are visiting for tourism, simply answer sightseeing or tourism. You may also be asked how long you will stay. It's best to give a clear answer, such as the number of days or your departure date. Another common question is where you will be staying. Be ready to provide your hotel name or the area you'll be staying in. In some cases, you may be asked about your travel companions. Simply answer whether you are traveling alone or with others. You might also be asked if you have visited Japan before. If you have, just answer honestly. If you don't understand the question, it's okay to ask them to repeat it. It's better to clarify than to guess and give an incorrect answer. In some cases, you may be asked a few additional questions. However, for most travelers, the process ends after just a few questions. 4. Visit Japan web. One of the most important preparations for entering Japan in 2026 is Visit Japan web. This is an official online system provided by the Japanese government. By registering your information in advance, you can significantly speed up airport procedures. You will enter details such as personal information, accommodation, and custom declarations. Once everything is completed, a QR code will be generated. This QR code is essential for both immigration and custom procedures. At supported airports, this code allows for a much faster process. During busy periods, this can make a significant difference in waiting time. While not technically mandatory, it is practically essential. Without it, you will need to fill out paper forms, which takes more time. Airport Wi-Fi can sometimes be unstable, so be careful. It's recommended to take a screenshot of your QR code in advance. This ensures you can still access it even without internet connection. If needed, you can also print the QR code and bring a copy. Make sure your information is accurate, as mistakes can slow down the process. A few minutes of preparation can save you a lot of stress after arrival. 5. Before you land. Before arriving in Japan, there are a few things you must prepare in advance. Having these ready will make your airport experience much smoother. The most important item is your passport. Make sure it is valid for the entire duration of your stay. Also, pay attention to any forms or instructions provided during your flight. Although most processes are digital now, paper forms may still be required in some cases. It's a good idea to have a pen with you. Make sure your phone is fully charged. You may need it to show QR codes or access information upon arrival. Carrying a portable charger can give you extra peace of mind. While you have time on the plane, it's helpful to open any necessary screens in advance. After landing, you'll be moving around, so preparation makes a big difference. Keep in mind that you may be tired after a long flight. Preparation helps you stay on track even when you're tired. 6. Required documents and proofs. At immigration, you may be asked to present certain documents or proof. Not every traveler is asked, but it's important to be prepared. Your passport is, of course, essential. Your return or onward ticket is also important. This may be checked to confirm that you will leave Japan. In some cases, you may be asked about your financial means. You might be asked to show a credit card or proof of funds. For most tourists, this is not an issue, but it's good to be prepared. If you require a visa, you must obtain it in advance. Your visa conditions will also be checked. Organizing your information helps avoid delays and issues. 7. Custom process. After immigration, the next step is the custom process. First, you collect your checked baggage at the baggage claim area. Once you have your luggage, you proceed to the customs area. At customs, you are required to declare the items you are bringing into Japan. As of 2026, digital declarations are available at many airports. If you used Visit Japan Web, you can declare using your QR code. You can scan your QR code at a terminal to simplify the process. If you did not register digitally, you will submit a paper declaration form. You will be directed to different lanes based on your declaration. If you have nothing to declare, you go to the Nothing to Declare lane. If you have items to declare, you use the Goods to Declare lane. In some cases, your luggage may be inspected. These checks can be random and are not unusual. To pass smoothly, it's important to declare honestly. Failure to declare or false declarations may result in penalties. Once you clear customs, you can finally exit the airport. At this point, the main entry procedures into Japan are complete. 8. Prohibited items. When entering Japan, you must be aware of prohibited and restricted items. Bringing them unknowingly can result in confiscation or penalties. One of the most common examples is meat products and animal-based foods. Items like ham, sausages, and jerky are generally prohibited. Fresh foods and plants are also strictly controlled. Fruits and vegetables are subject to quarantine and are restricted. Counterfeit or fake brand items are also prohibited. Even for personal use, they may be confiscated. Dangerous items and weapons are, of course, not allowed. Certain types of knives may also be restricted. A commonly overlooked category is medications and supplements. Depending on the ingredients, they may be restricted in Japan. We will cover this in more details in the next section. If you are unsure about an item, declare it honestly. Declaring items can help you avoid serious problems. 9. Medications and personal items. Medications and personal items are often overlooked but require special attention. One key concern is the ingredients in over-the-counter and prescription drugs. Some cold medicines and pain relievers may contain ingredients that are restricted in Japan. Even if unintentional, bringing them in can be considered a violation. It's important to check the ingredients in advance. Extra caution is needed when bringing prescription medications. For larger quantities or certain medications, prior approval may be required. Having a doctor's prescription or written explanation in English is helpful. Supplements and vitamins should also not be overlooked. Depending on their contents, they may be restricted. There are also rules regarding e-cigarettes and related items. Nicotine-containing liquids are regulated in Japan. If you plan to bring them, check the regulations in advance. Generally, items for personal use are allowed within limits. However, exceeding those limits may lead to restrictions. Medication rules are strictly enforced, so do not overlook them. 10. Strict baggage checks. In recent years, baggage checks at Japanese airports have become stricter. At customs, X-ray scanning is the standard method of inspection. All baggage is subject to screening. If necessary, your bag may be opened for inspection. This can happen randomly or if something appears suspicious. If you are selected, it is not unusual and there is no need to worry. Simply follow the instructions of the officers. However, undeclared items can cause problems. You may be asked to explain or go through additional checks. And in some cases, this may take extra time. To pass smoothly, preparation and accurate declarations are essential. Organizing your luggage is also more important than it seems. If your items are easy to identify, inspections are quicker. If your bag is disorganized, it may take longer to check. To avoid trouble, know what you're carrying. If you follow the rules, the inspections is usually quick. 11. Fast track and automated gates. Japanese airports have introduced systems to make entry procedures faster. The main examples are fast track systems and automated gates. Fast track systems simplify procedures using pre-registered information. If you use Visit Japan Web, it may be linked to this system. Some airports provide dedicated lanes for faster processing. Automated gates use facial recognition and other technologies. If you meet certain conditions, you may skip face-to-face inspection. However, not all travelers are eligible to use them. Availability and requirements vary by airport. Depending on congestion, the time difference may not be significant, so you should not rely on them being available. However, automation is expected to expand further in the future. Checking requirements in advance can help ensure a smoother experience. Since each airport is different, it's good to check in advance. These systems are especially useful during peak times. Using them effectively can greatly reduce stress during entry. 12. Preclearance. A new entry system gaining attention is Preclearance. This system allows part of the immigration process to be completed before departure. Instead of completing all procedures upon arrival, some steps are done at the departure airport. Currently, this system is being introduced or considered in limited regions. It is not available at all countries or airports. Eligibility depends on specific flights and conditions. For most travelers, it is not yet a standard process. However, it may expand to more locations in the future. If widely implemented, it could significantly change the entry process. Since details can change, always check the latest information before traveling. Future updates may make entry even more efficient. 13. Leaving the airport. After clearing customs, you will finally exit the airport. One of the first things most travelers need is internet access. You can buy or pick up a SIM card or pocket Wi-Fi at the airport. If you reserve in advance, pickup is quick and easy. Next, transportation is important. From major airports, you can reach the city by train or bus. Using an IC card makes public transportation easier. You can purchase or recharge an IC card at the airport. Taxis and ride services are also available but can be more expensive. They are useful if you have a lot of luggage or arrive late at night. There are plenty of signs and staff, so it's easy to find your way. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. If you understand the process so far, you'll have no trouble navigating the airport. Japanese airports are well organized and easy to use, even for first-time visitors. Knowing the process helps reduce unnecessary stress. This completes the full process from arrival to exiting the airport. Now you have a complete understanding of entering Japan in 2026. With proper preparation, you'll have a very few issues at the airport. I hope this video helps reduce any anxiety about your trip to Japan. Enjoy your amazing time in Japan! Well, that's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye bye!